Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabina Ibrahim Adam. I am a graduate student at the University of Cincinnati, and today I'm going to share with you how to apply to graduate school. I'll just share like my story and then some of the things I've learned along the way. So to apply to a graduate school, you need to at least you have undergone undergraduate school, and I think the most important thing is for you to know the course that you are interested in. Do you want to continue your undergrad course or you want to move to another field? I think one of the most exciting things about graduate school is the fact that for courses that are not very technical, you can just, divert easily. But for some courses, you need to have like experience. It's like you've never had any courses, you've never taken any courses under science or coding, and now you want to be like me I a scientist or a programmer, right? That's going to be crazy. My case is more like I did IT business management at undergrad level. After I completed university and went into the work environment, I kind of did different things which led to my discovery of this path that I'm on now, right? So that gap or that number of years that I took away from school was a process of me finding what it is that I want to do eventually. So that being said, now you have you have like a course in mind, you have a subject or something that interests you. Now the second thing is to now search for schools that are doing the course that you're interested in reading or learning more about. So you can do a quick search of let's say best schools that do specifics, like you write the name of the subject or the course. So best schools in communication, best schools in mass comm, best schools that offer IT programs. So as you do these searches, you'll be able to see what it is that the options that you have. Now, after you found the school, you have to go onto the school's platform and do a quick search. Not quick search, you have to do a thorough search of what the school is looking for, the eligibility criteria, and if the school is as interesting as you want your place of acquiring knowledge should be to be. So you just go through the school's criteria, what they are looking for, how do you apply to the school, what they are looking for, do they offer scholarship if you don't want to pay yourself, how is the school's environment like, if you are interested in diversity and all that school have the environment that is very accommodating, all these things. So this is why I will cycle back to my experience. Now, I had spoken to a friend about my interest in communication and all of that. So when he found a course, University of Cincinnati doing the course or offering the course, he just sent me a link that, hey Sabina, you said you were interested in the communication, so I just sent this to you so that you can apply. I'm like, I wanted to go to grad school. I knew I wanted to go to grad school this year. It was actually last year, and then COVID hit, right? So when he sent it to me earlier this year, like in January, mid-January, was when he sent me the link. And then the last day of application was 31st January, if I'm correct. And I hit submit on 31st January. It was crazy, right? So the criteria, the eligibility was, when I read through it, I felt like, okay, I didn't have to send in my GRE because of COVID, many schools had waived the GRE, so I didn't have to write GRE. But then you need to check if the school requires GRE. Some schools, depending on the subject that you're also going to study, you would have to do TOEFL. There are so many different types of exams that you'd have to take. So when you read the school's eligibility criteria, you'll be able to find what the requirements are. right? The requirement that the school is looking for. So after that, I had to write my S.O.P. That's a statement of purpose. Like, why do you want to do this course? It's not easy like that. Like, oh, you've seen a school, then you just say, oh, I want to attend, and then you go. No, you have to write a statement of purpose, which is stating your interest, why you want to do it, why you chose the school, and why they should give you admission. Now, for many international students, we are looking for scholarship. So you also have to choose that you want to be given a scholarship to do this. Maybe I'll read my S.O.P sometime. A very good friend of mine helped me to, make it juicy enough to be considered. So it's very important for you to reach out to friends, other people who have already been on this path, so that they help you with that, inshallah. So after I wrote my S.O.P, I sent it over. The S.O.P has to be as detailed as possible. After you have read about the school and the lecturers, what the lecturers are doing, and how what the lecturers are doing is of interest to you based on the course that you are going to read, right? So you have to add all that into the criteria. Now, after you hit submit, you just have to wait for the school to either send you the amazing message or the heartbreaking one. Now, because I applied very late, I applied on the last day of submission. Can you, so I was put on the waiting lists, right? I made dua. I was like, before I hit send, I made dua. I remember Junior was like, okay, it's time to pray. Or by the time Kwame, I was already praying in my head, because we don't just do things, right? We pray to Allah, we seek guidance. Before I hit send, I was already praying. I'm like, Ya Allah, if this is good for me, let me get in. If it's not good for me, don't let them even take me. Don't let them even accept me, right? So I was making dua and everything. And then, I prayed a lot before I hit, submit. Now, I also have to mention that you have to pay admission fee. Is that admission fee? Registration fee. You don't just, see the school, then you just apply just like that. You have to pay registration fee. Call me Ake Chemoshi. Why is the English failing me? So, some schools is $50, $60. It varies from school to school, so you just have to be aware that when you read the criteria for application, you see what the school wants you to do. I was put on the waiting list where it read we have seen the strength of your YY, and so we have put you on the waiting list. So sometimes you put on the waiting list because probably they've already selected the people that they are going to give. Now, other people apply to 3 schools. Ideally, you should apply to 3 schools or more. Then you see which one will pick you. Some schools can give you admission without funding. Some schools will give you admission with half funding, and some schools will give you admission with full funding, right? And you want full funding. So when you apply to many schools, it gives you that room to be able to pick which school gives you what you want. And sometimes you can be an amazing human being who is so smart that no school can say no to you, right? Then they would, you have to not pay, just pick. But for me, I didn't have that. It's either them or them. You get it? So it was just like, you guys, you have to pick me, So I was just praying, all the while I was praying. I was like, Ya Allah, you put me here for a reason. I'm just waiting on you, basically. So one time I was just at home. I couldn't sleep that day for some funny reason. I couldn't sleep, and I remember it was 11 p.m. and someone was like, look, if you can't sleep, just open your mail, Sha. I opened the mail, and it was my offer letter and my admission and my it was so emotional. I made sujud, and I think I went to perform ablution. I prayed 2 rakah. I thanked Allah, and I knew that, look, I believe in my dua, and so if Allah made it possible, it means I'm going to get in, right? If He gave it to me, it means He was going to see me through. Because there was another part that is very important, right? It's not just enough that you've gotten the school. There is another very key, because it's like you are hanging literally, because after the school gives you the admission, you now have to go through the most dreaded interview, F1 visa interview, right? So now I had to prepare and then get a date. Getting a date for your interview is not easy. And for the interview, you also have to pay about $150. Yeah, I think it's $150 for $160 to register for your visa interview, and then you have to pay about $350 for a service fee. Service fee is also part of the things that you need to pay in order to, prove that you are a student or something like that. So guys, I need to mention that, look, I'm just sharing my story and how you can go through and navigate. So I paid for my service fee, and then I paid for my visa interview fee. Now usually the service fee has to be paid by someone who is not in the country, has to be paid by someone in the US or something. So some schools give you, like, they do the payments, so you can just so for my school, you can make the payments, the school can make the payments for you, but there will be an arrangement of how to pay. And now picking a date, hey, my people, stop it. The anxiety, the stress, because people are on the sites like this, people are on the sites. I feel like people sleep on that site, because you see an available date and you blink, someone has selected it. You're like, it wasn't funny at all. But then look, it was funny for me, because I was like, I just saw this right now, and I'm clicking load, I'm clicking like the dates to pick it, but it wasn't working. I was like, but this thing, it was just. And I think it's because of the fact that I had like the Allah mindset from the get-go. So I felt like every step of it, like, khair, so it has a way of reducing anxiety. It has a way of helping you deal with stress and whatnot. So I think it was pretty cool. But then I also was like, oh my God, because my dates, the school would start, and then I hadn't gotten my date for the interview. So I was like, what if the school says, if you can't make it on this date, don't come? Because there's that possibility. Some schools will not give you time. They would prefer you to be in the US at a certain date. If you are not able to come at a certain date, they'll either have to defer or like just forget about it, right? So finally I got a date. Junior was the one who actually got it for me, and then I had to prepare for the visa interview. Now that is also another thing. I don't know if I should cut the video short here and then maybe talk about visa interview in my next video. So yeah, I think I'll stop here. Thank you so much for coming this far. I hope you took a few things here and there. Yeah, do well to subscribe, like, comment, and all the good stuff. Hopefully I'll add some links down below so that you can follow pages on Facebook that are centered on providing information on how to apply, when to apply, and also some like very specific links. So yeah, so I see you again. Assalamu alaikum.